All right. Hi, my name is Chan Lapazone. I'm the Chief Astronaut Officer for Partnerships for NewCoin. I'm really excited to be here with everyone here on the panel. We have chatted a little bit before, and I would like everyone to introduce themselves. Danielle, will you go first?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Danielle Petty, and I am the Creative Director and one of the co-founders behind the 90s Babes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Will, founder of The Littles, with my co-founder here, Cassandra.
Hey, my name is Clemen, and I am one of the co-founders of Bollis.
Hey, I'm Probert. I'm co-founder of MetaBoy NFT on GameStop NFT Market. I have my team, shout out MetaBoy team, and some of our fans that have come out and traveled to the Dcentral event. Thanks a lot.
Okay, excellent. So I had sent some questions earlier, and we had a talk earlier to agree and disagree on some things. And one of the things we all talked about is in this market, especially a bear market, what is important for your market? Is it niche or is it broad? So Danielle and Will, if you could please touch upon what your thoughts are.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the things that we did with the 90s Babes was we really focused on a specific demographic. Obviously, anybody who grew up or was born in the 90s and loves that nostalgia and kind of that feel-good experience of the past. And we really dove into that specific market and creating all of our experiences and everything we do tailored around that.
We believe that when building a project, it has to be niche. And so actually, it took us a long time for me and Cass to found this idea. It was not until the summer of last year where we brought our 2.5-year-old to the park, Jordan, and she was standing on top of the slides with her chest puffed up in the most prattiest way, ready to conquer the world. And well, all we saw was her just being super authentic, simple, and fun. And that itself was something that we realized is going to resonate with people who are along the same journey. And we knew that being able to express that and deliver that is the way to go. And since then, we were able to establish a partnership with Time Studio to create an animation featuring Jordy and the Littles. So being able to niche down, I believe, is the way to go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was a consensus for everybody. And Clemens, so we had talked about that notion of like niching down. How do you provide that value for your community?
Yeah, so for us it was also niche. It was basketball community that we first addressed. And what we did is that we partnered up with Crypto.com at the time. So it was like the perfect fit for us. They invested a lot in sports, and we are like a sports NFT project back then. And with them it was a bit easier, you know, because they have like a Staples Center now, Crypto.com Arena, so we raffled a lot of tickets, different kind of perks, and we have, let's say, NBA basketball players as our ambassadors, so this was additional perk, but later on also gamification of the whole project, so this is what we provide for our community.
Okay, and Robert, can you speak about the value you provide for your community?
Yeah, for the MetaFam, that's what we call the MetaBoy Universe community. We actually have two buyer profiles. It's our NFT holders, and then we actually do Metaverse as a service. So we build services, deploy your own branded premium label Metaverse for you as a creator to run stuff like live concerts, curated events, token-gated events where you could do claims. So for us, the communities that we serve are a bit different than other creators because we have two buyer profiles. But through that second one is their community, right? And so we also recognize that our community is literally our economy, and that's literally every other NFT project out there. And the sooner they realize that your community is your economy, it makes you think differently, right? It makes you think about your mint strategy better. It makes you think about what kind of artwork you want to drop, and if that artwork is inclusive to your community culture. So like for us, we're very male dominated. So we seek female perspectives a lot for our artwork because we're trying to build a product for all people, all ages, and be here for decades, right? And so that's what community means to the MetaBoy team.
Okay, and what about you? You kept nodding, Danielle. You speak about community for me for 90s Babes.
Yeah, I mean, I totally resonate with what you were saying. Community is really the foundation of everything, right? So, at the forefront of everything that we're creating and everything that we're doing, we're really focused on pulling in our active holders and, also doing a lot of market research around what people love of the 90s, right? It's really trendy right now. We're seeing it pop up everywhere, but there's a certain piece of that nostalgia that we've realized most people really resonate with, and they want to tap back into that experience of simpler times, pre everything and what that was like. So for our community, we're really focused on curating live events and different experiences, both online and soon in the metaverse, where we can all come together and talk about our Tamagotchis and our VHSs and all of the things that we love from the past.
Okay. And what you also know your community quite well, considering you've built it for your own children.
Yeah, totally. I think community is huge. Being able to create all the different experiences that is aligned with the vision that we have. And I think the community really buys into that. So from animation to gaming to our merch experience, all of which is tied into the same experience. And I think ultimately this is what gathers and pulls the community together, because they're seeking the same thing. And case in point, we recently just launched our gaming platform experience. Just within the first month, we have more than 30,000 monthly active users. Just really shows the strength of you. Thank you. So it just really shows the strength of the community when you're able to create something that is meaningful and intentful, even during this market.
What was the question?
Like your community, how much does that tie into your vision, your strategy, the niche?
No, community is everything. Like Bolly's fam for us, it's pure
everything.
gold. It's pure gold. So we really nurture them. We want to give them as much as possible. For us, like I mentioned before, it's also gamification aspect to it. So from NFT project to creating the protocols behind, and with our land-to-earn mechanism that we are doing, it's also something that we are trying to achieve, that our community, our initial holders, NFT holders, will be able to play and earn. And this is what we are doing actively, but also passively, because we introduced this land-to-earn. So from things that I mentioned before, like talking locker room talks with our NBA basketball ambassadors, to these kind of things, that it's something that they all like, also to earn something in return. So yeah, community is the key.
So, and we all agreed on these things. And so, Robert, you had a lot to say about how do you get that strategy, the team, what part did that play in, and how do you look at that?
Yeah, so the question around what's the importance of the pillar of team, and I guess I would infer talent strategy towards your product or business strategy, because every NFT creator has a business strategy, has a product, right? Your NFT, your artwork, your value, your utility you plan to deliver, your roadmap, your website, your brand, that's your IP, that's your brand, that's your product, right? So what's the strategy that drives it? Where do you want to be in 10 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years? And for me, I like working backwards from a big vision. So for us, we're okay, we want to build for all people, all ages. So let's break it down. How do we do that? Well, there's 3 things. What's the product strategy? What's the market like? Well, the gaming market right now, where we want to enter, predominantly male. But there's billions of dollars there, right? It's a dark horse of Web3 adoption, right? So we want to be there before other people are. So that feeds into talent strategy. So we want to be in gaming. Do we got game developers as a basic question in our capabilities on our team? Yeah, we do. So if you're an NFT investor, you're thinking about these things, right? You go to the webpage, you see the brand, you look at the Discord, you see how their team's handling themselves, and you make a decision on whether you're buying the NFT, or if you've already bought it, you make decisions on, do I keep holding it? And for us, we take that buyer confidence very seriously, and it goes all the way back to how we're an inclusive product to start with, where we bring in folks that are not traditionally represented in our space for gaming for all people, all ages. So that's a bigger strategy, right? Second thing is, do we have people that follow that inclusive culture, right? Because I'm sure we all have corporate Web2 experiences.
I want to touch on that point. So all of you, what he said, you must have people on your team that represent, or you reach out to that. So Danielle, can you speak about, obviously you have that representation on your team. You said we have gamers on our team. Can you talk about that for you for 90s Babes?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, our whole team is made up of marketers and web developers and crypto enthusiasts. And, we've got my business partner, Steve, he's works for Charged Particles. So
Right.
he's really deep into, everything that goes with the different layers. And then we've also got, all of us were born in the 90s. So for us,
Exactly.
right, we're focused on curating these experiences of nostalgia across the globe and building out some big businesses in that realm. So being able to have people who can tap in and to really kind of do the research and the footwork there is extremely important.
Okay. And for Will, for you, obviously.
So within our team, we really focus on the graphics and aesthetics because ultimately it's the experience that we want to be able to deliver to people, from UI to the UX to the designs and everything. So for us, aside from that, we also rely a lot on domain experts, and that's why we network a lot in the field. Case in point, we have Maria Perez Brown, who's the head of kids and television at Time Studio, who's actively advising for our project. We also have Cool Man Dan, who has more than 10, 15 million subscribers within his platforms, showing us how to create characters that are
Right.
lovable and appealing. And ultimately, I think because we're in a space where people are very willing to collaborate, we're very willing to share, we should definitely take advantage of that and seek out for expertise, and a lot of people are willing to help.
Okay, excellent. And Clemens?
I can say that we are really lucky, because 4 co-founders, and each is covering their own area of expertise. And let's say Kevo, as a creator, a director, art director, he won Young Lion Khan Award 2021, and his girlfriend Lucia, she's marketing guru. Back there is Tom, CTO, one of the brightest guys in the industry, and I'm just taking like small part in, let's say, business development. So for us, yeah, we are kind of lucky, because we are not outsourcing things. On the other hand, it's also important that what we're trying to achieve is not only basketball, but expand to later on to other sports. So doing this with this amazing team is also the key.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so then my other thing I wanted to ask you guys was the tools. We had discussion about, are the tools good? Are they bad? What do you think? Robert, can you just briefly tell us what your thoughts on that are?
I'll try to be brief. I have many opinions on this.
He's very passionate.
Yeah, for sure. So on the MetaBoy team, we're building metaverses as a service. I think a lot about user experience. Totally +1 co-signed this entire amazing panel, by the way. Y'all have great thoughts, and I'm glad to collaborate more after. So with design, you have to think about, what do I want my user's experience to be? And we want to build a product for all people, all ages, right? So if you think about a game, is one singular game for all people, all ages? There's no way. So how do you get many games? Decentralized game development is our model that we're investing in. How do we enable a platform for anybody that wants to create a game of their dream genre on our assets to make it? And so all of those things in our future drive the technology decisions we have today. So what wallet do I recommend users? What marketplace do you want to be on? Shout out GameStop Marketplace, that's where we're at. Loop Ring Layer 2 is also where we minted, because it's cheaper for users, faster, with the same security as Ethereum L1, because it's a zero knowledge rollup. And if I recommended otherwise, I wouldn't be confident about my recommendations to my community. And so that's all part of the user experience, is how big are your technology decisions and how risky do they impact your desired user experience. That's the matrix that you need to decide on as a founder or as a project team member when you make your technology choices, and how reversible they might be.
Excellent. Okay, so the one question I posed to all of you is, what is your favorite NFT project that's kind of off the radar? So Robert, why don't you go first? We'll go this way.
I'm already blabbing. I'll talk a little bit more. So just because we're on GameStop NFT, I have to shout out a couple creators out there that we've collaborated with. We collaborated with Betty Boop to make a MetaBoy Betty Boop with the X Label team. So shout out Dean from the X Label team. Sloppy Pencil, who is the lead animation supervisor right there of Rick and Morty, a very popular show. We collaborated with him too, so shout out to him for coming out to Dcentral. And then obviously this amazing panel that I just met. So, yeah.
we discussed this before, and I was like, I didn't do my homework, I didn't do the research, but what I'm hearing now, it's like amazing. I wanna make partnerships, I wanna do collaborations with all of you guys. This is amazing, but I wanna also do a shout out to our CrowFam. So what we are building on the CrowFam, so Alpha Bots, Psycho Kitties, Loaded Lions, of course, Bollies.
Yes, everyone on the panel, like I'm like, wow, super, yes. But yeah, I think a project that is up and coming that I've been in chats with, really love what they do, is Mecha Beast. They are doing something really cool, so definitely check them out. Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
And I've got two for this one. So I would definitely give a major shout out to Forest Vixens and Pastel Persons. I have a 5-year-old that I bring with me to all of these conferences that I've traveled to this year. He loves NFTs, he loves tech, really into Minecraft. So I love what both of those projects are doing to bring kids into the space and create a safe environment. I know Pastel Persons does a Minecraft night every Sunday that all the kids get to get online and play. And my kid had such a fun time getting to mint his first NFT. He sometimes goes in the Discord, but just the idea that they're creating these opportunities both at the conferences where kids can do these immersive experiences and mint NFTs, and also like Twitter Spaces and outside. I mean, when else does a 4-year-old get a chance to speak on a Twitter space and kind of practice public speaking?
That's amazing.
It's incredible. So
I'm gonna give a shout out to the Uplift World, which is a Minecraft metaverse, and to Fly.meta, which is a dynamic NFT that brings awareness to climate change. So those are my two. Yeah, see? Okay, yeah. So I want we all had mantras, we talked about this, and so I'm gonna start with Clement. Your mantra, what's your mantra? You go first, yes.
I told them one before, so everything comes from inside. And the second one that maybe I would also like to mention is what would greatness do? So I'm following these two mantras, let's say.
Okay, Robert?
I said this before, but like I tell the team all the time in our community, we build for all people, all ages, and that's our mantra with MetaBoy.
Okay, Will?
My mantra is, will Jordy be proud? I think especially in this space, there's so much temptations, there's so many shortcuts you can take. Every decision matters. And so it really dictates for us is to make decisions that would make Jordy proud. And I think that's been working really well for us.
And my favorite mantra since entering this space is rising tides lift all boats, especially as a woman founder in the space. Yes! But especially as a women founder in the space, any opportunity I get, by the way, Pastel Persons and Forest Vixens are both women-led, absolutely incredible women in the space and projects. But any opportunity that we can lift each other up and we can put our name in a room we wouldn't get in and make that introduction for somebody where it seems fit, I think that's how we're all going to win right now.
Especially through this market.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Exactly. So where can people find you? Can you today if they want to talk to you? Robert? Can you guys tell me where they can find you?
Is this the social shouts?
Yes.
Okay. So at MetaBoy NFT on Twitter, that's the main handle. For me personally, it's Prober877. If you don't want to just follow the NFT account, we're on Discord. If you just go to Discord, join our server, MetaBoy. That's all you got to type, and then you'll join the server. Anybody here that's at Dcentral, come to our booth. We'll give you a limited edition Dcentral MetaBoy that's super dope. So yeah, I think that's all the shouts. Metaboy.run is our website. So metaboy.run. You want to check out a free version of our metaverse? Go play a game.
Bollies.gg, you will find everything over there.
So you can find us at thelittles.io, and my personal handle is Will with one L, X Lee is my personal Twitter handle.
Awesome. And you can find us at 90sbabesnft.com or at 90sbabesnft on Twitter. And then my personal is pettycash777.
Nice. Okay, mine's newform_NCO. We interview a lot of creators in the space, and my personal is Speak Up. Okay, so are there any questions out there? Do we have a question for anybody? No? Really? Do you guys have questions for each other from this panel? You must. Yes. Oh, yes. Please come up. Exactly what I wanted. Can you say your name?
Yeah, hi, my name is Justin. I've just got a question about your projects. We've been talking a little bit about inclusivity and diversity. So we've talked about team composition in terms of the different types of specialties, but what do you do to increase diversity on your teams in the more classic sense?
Oh, that's a great question. All right, Danielle, you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we have a pretty diverse team. You know, we are very fortunate. We've got tons of women on our project. We've got actually a teammate in Ukraine. We've got a teammate in the Philippines. We've got a teammate in Canada. We've got a teammate in Ohio and Arizona. So, you know, we are been very fortunate that that was kind of our founding team who we've been able to build this project with. But I think it's extremely important, you know, to continue to do that. That's part of 90s Babes' mission, is to onboard more women in the space to continue to kind of bridge that gap.
Cool. I think with that being said, Cass, our co-founder, she is the lead at Lululemon, working with diversity and inclusivity. So she brings a lot of that to the table on how we recruit and how there's the different studios that we work with to ensure that we really have a voice from both ends of diversity and inclusion.
Yeah, so like I said before, we are really proud that one of our co-founders is also female. And our team is also very diverse, so with a lot of minorities also included. So yeah, this is how we do it.
Okay.
For us personally, like I look at certain numbers of our diversity of holders and of our team, and I'm very unhappy with them, to be honest, right now, because the gaming space and the Web3 space is just inherently not diverse. So you have to go out of your way and be quite intentional and spend a lot of energy and resources to get that, right? So for us, we've built some feedback mechanisms that are scalable for the diversity gaps we have. We have regional diversity, we have ethnic diversity, but we absolutely don't have gender diversity. So to me, there's two ways. One is literally recruit female people onto the team. So that's something we're doing, and we just hired our first head of product. Amazing black woman who has good entrepreneurial background and is ready to tackle the metaverse. So that's how we're doing it, is we're spending the effort to go network in these circles where folks are typically not coming to these things because there's a barrier of entry. The second thing is, in the meantime, we can't just build willy-nilly. Like, we might build things that damage people or trigger people, right? And we want to build inclusive products. So you have to install a feedback mechanism that's scalable, and it's easy for our teammates right now to go to like 95% of our women holders, which is very low. It's abysmal. It's about 45 or so out of 5,000 token holders. It's pretty bad, but we want to grow that. So we're elevating their voices and giving financial incentive. And we're literally giving free NFTs for our women holders that give us feedback on our art, on our product.
Yeah, that's
so
nice.
we put
Yeah,
our money
that's
where
great.
our mouth is on this.
And you guys have similar methodologies do you want to speak about? Will? No?
No.
No? Anyone? No? 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 No, absolutely not. I mean, you have some events that you're doing. You obviously attract. Can you talk about the 3 events you're doing? Because you have something very focused that's.
You know, and it is funny. I was actually just, while we were talking about this
Yeah.
question, thinking about our event. Our Eventbrite, we've got 80% women coming to our 90s Babes party. We've got an event that we partnered with Crypto Tech Women for tomorrow night. And I mean, I think that's pretty incredible. I know in NFT NYC, I went to like 5 parties where I was the only female in the room.
Yeah.
And I mean, talk about uncomfortable. I took one look and I was like, and I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm really proud of that number, to recognize, you know, that was our goal. We set up a Women Without Wallets initiative where we onboarded 100 different women and gave them their first NFT and did the onboarding and walked through how to set up their wallet and really kind of bridge that gap with like that first PFP. And, you know, I think that really shows in our numbers. So I'm really looking forward to that event. And we do also have 2 wellness events. I am also a part of the Self-Love Club with my partners Fari and Diamond Doll. And so we've got a picnic in the park, and we've got a wellness event we're doing at the Carlton Wellness Resort on December 2nd.
Okay. And do all of you leverage events to meet your community?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Will.
Yes, I think it's super important to be able to meet with community members. And throughout the last year, we held over a dozen different events worldwide. It's really important not just for us to meet with our community members, but also having satellite events to sponsor, to empower them, to give them a safe space to meet with each other, to collaborate, to jam about this thing that we have, which is super cool.
Okay, excellent. Yes.
And I agree with what the guys are saying. It's so important. One thing, big thing for us is that 5% of the whole NFT sales, initial sales proceeds went to rebuilding the basketball court. So the first one we are rebuilding in the association with Crypto.com and Yusuf Nurkic, NBA Portland Trailblazers NBA star in Bosnia. So also over there we are bringing some our holders, some our community, and it's like has this social note. So this is really important to us also.
Okay.
Yeah, on IRL or in real life events, we've done 3 now, and we've existed since Mint for 4.5 months. We'll continue to do more. We want to do esports tournaments. We're actually running one next month. And we want to be like the destination for Web 2 pro gamers to come bring their audiences to our metaverse, play games, and figure out, wow, blockchain's way doper. So that's like a big way. We want to do events, IRL, bring people into the project, get awareness. And then we also want to transition to events in the metaverse, because that costs us nothing and we serve it to all our holders in a click, you know? So yeah, I think in real life events also like give a name to a face to a lot of community members, and so they can come and see you're real people. You're not just a PFP on Discord that I've interacted with. Oh my gosh, I'll buy more NFTs. There's more buyer confidence when you could see the person, interact with them, and you know they gain your trust, right? And I'm sure you all have, and it makes you happy from a creator side. You're like, oh, like you like my stuff? Like what? It's so cool, and it gives you the motivation to keep going. You know, so.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a part of our roadmap to do, you know, in real life events, and we did a huge one at NFT NYC. We did one in Arizona, kind of smaller scale, but NFT NYC was our big party that we hosted at Club Nebula. And to your point, getting to meet all of the Babe holders in real life and getting to party with everybody at this huge nightclub. I mean, it was incredible.
That sounds lit.
We all need to go. We
so
need to go to your
fun.
events. I'm like,
Yeah, where are those?
Highly recommend.
exactly.
And the good thing about like meeting holders in real life is that they're all super happy to see you, and there's no like FUD or anything. Like it's real people. So that was something incredible for us to experience.
What happened to the floor price?
No one talks about that, which is which is good. It's
so
like
nice.
Yeah, it's like real people getting to connect with real people,
Yeah.
and ultimately, I think for them to see you as a founder and also as a human being, and to see your passion flow through, is what really gives them the conviction of like, wow, this is a journey that I want to be embarking on as well.
If I may,
Right.
for me it was really humbling experience when I was talking with few of our holders, you know, on Discord, and the guy said, "Look, our children, you know, for them it's not NFTs, it's bollies, it's bollies." So it was like, whoa, you know, it's humbling, but on the other hand, it's also like then big responsibility.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So, niche, value, community. We all agree? If you had to choose, what is the order? Yeah.
You pass it back to me, okay. Oh man, what is the order? Okay.
What is niche, value, community? Those are the 3 values we've all talked about, that you all agree upon. And when you guys email back your answers. Yeah.
Okay.
It's important to start with your values, because that's the core of how you build your project. And if you're not clear on that, other people cannot come into play. And for us, our values are being authentic, simple, and fun. With that, we can go on to, what was the other one? Community and niche. We can go on to find our niche. With that, we realized that in the marketplace, there was a big issue. There was a big opportunity in children's media. We came through a starking statistic that out of the 100 top watching children's show, none of which are owned by big animation studios like Disney, this presents itself a huge opportunity for us to go and aggregate IPs to create our own original IPs and to optimize them and to supercharge them with gamification and digital collectability. And that is what allows us to go out there and curate our community together. And ultimately for us, we have right now more than 30,000 unique holders, $15 million in secondary sales. And I think that's the order that we should go with.
Okay.
I'm jumping in.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am going to second. Definitely start with the value. I think having a really strong mission and giving people that reason to believe and a reason to rally behind what you're doing. And really, I mean, in our experience, that's where the community founded from, right?
Right.
It came from other people who we got up there and we told them, hey, our mission is to onboard as many women into this space and to bring back that feel-good nostalgia as we can, and we had so many people that aligned with that, and that's really how our community was founded, and which created our niche, right? We knew we loved the 90s. We, talked about breaking off into different decades, and as we got into it, really seeing just how much passion there was for the 90s specifically is what founded that niche for us.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
So it's niche, value, and community. And I guess when I heard value, I think I might have equated it to utility, but now hearing you two talk about value, it's more about your own values as a creator and your project team and how that emanates into your community and opens other people in and invites other people in. And that makes sense, right? Like you don't want to be someone you're not and attract people that you don't want in there, right? So I think to answer this question, and I'm always kind of this way, so I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It depends on the market conditions. Like in a bear market, utility is the number one thing I see holders and prospective holders flocking to the islands of utility, right? So no matter how great your values are, I think there will be a certain persona of buyers that flock to utility. And so for me right now, it'd probably be like values. I mean, I think that just starts with the core, like number one. And then if I had to insert utility, niche, community, like I'd put utility somewhere in there. But yeah, I don't know if that helps, but I think it depends on market conditions.
Exactly,
what you would want to flex on.
Okay.
I think everything is overlapping, but for us, without any BS, it was like niche, community, and then value.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. All right. Do you guys have any final thoughts? I don't think they ran a clock on us. We've been here forever. Yeah, exactly. Yes, we've been here a while. Right? I really thank everyone here for staying with us too. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything final thoughts you guys?
We could ask questions.
You any questions? Yes, please come up. Don't be shy. I'm calling you out.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to ask, we're in a bear market and we're launching a collection. How would you suggest creating, because we talk a big talk about authenticity, about transparency, about everything being there in the blockchain. However, everybody has a nickname and a PFP that doesn't really align with a real person. Do we change our name to our real name and our PFP to our real faces? Or how do we create trust when there is so many barriers between the founders and the community they're trying to reach? That's my question.
Okay. So, all right.
Hi, I would love to answer that question. I love that question because it's something that I wrestled with a lot when I first came into the space. Coming from like marketing background, I used to like work at Google, and that was kind of like my credentials, right? That was what got me in people saying, oh, okay, you know what you're talking about. And then you come into Web3 and all of a sudden I'm behind a PFP and I'm petty cash, right? And it's kind of like, how do I create that genuine connection with people? And in my experience, we did a lot of webinars. As Web2 as that sounds, we would hold like community get-togethers and we'd get on webinars and we'd have one-to-one conversations with our holders and we'd answer their questions. And sometimes the answer would be, we don't have the answer yet, we're working it out. But there was something that people really appreciated in the transparency, and like, you don't have to have every single piece mapped out from start to finish. You just have to be authentic and speak your truth in what it is that you're building. And I feel like that was something in our personal experience that really drove home that trust and kind of built those followers, or those community members that will follow us wherever we're going now.
when we first started, I went against the norm of having like a monkey JPEG or anything. It's always been my face with the littles, and for me, I realized that's the best way to stand out, because amongst all the projects that are behind a JPEG, for you to stand out with your real face, doxed, nothing to hide, I think it speaks a lot more volume than anything else. And on top of that, we also had YouTube Live as well, just to share with people along the journey of like, hey, what's going on? Especially when we were launching, it's really important for us to do so because people want to know who they are interacting with, right? As a founder, who are you like as an individual? It's really important. And after we launched, we have something called the Founders Corner. And this is a blog session where I just go on and share with them the weekly progress, whether it's with the project, whether it's me personally, the struggles that I go through as a project founder, and the challenges and whatnot, things that you wouldn't really want to publicly share too much, but you can be vulnerable in some sort of sense with your community, and they would appreciate that.
We were doxed straight up. We wanted to be. Plus, you also have to understand that partnering up with Crypto.com, they're doing due diligence. They are not allowing not being doxed. But I'm also having like my own, let's say, Bolly's PFP
Right.
with my own traits that represents me, my life. So yeah, but you can find me everywhere. So.
Okay. Robert?
Yeah, I think thinking about the question a bit more, the question was around, okay, how do we actually engender trust and community engagement when we're all behind these layers, right? These layers of artwork or JPEGs or whatever they might be, Discord usernames, Twitter handles. And I think for us on the MetaBoy team, we recognize that from an inclusive design perspective, there are going to be different people that have different needs for privacy. And those different needs are a function of how much trust they have, right? And that's a different like function for everybody, right? Depending on where you're at in life, your socioeconomic status, your gender, even your culture, where you're from, like those things could change the power dynamics there of you wanting to reveal your identity. So for me right here, being a founder, I was actually honestly a little scared that this went out and my face went out. So like I cropped out my photo when I sent this to my Discord because not everybody knows my face yet and knows my career background. And so I think for that type of thing, you always have to make it a choice, right? So let the person choose to share their privacy if they want to in a space that they'd like and feel safe in. And that's what we want to engender. And so for us, we think for sure in real life, there are folks that want to come and meet us for sure. That will show us their faces and tell us that's my Discord username, that's my PFP. And I'm like, oh, you're that MetaBoy, right? But then there's a whole host of other ones that don't come and don't want to do that because they have privacy needs, and we recognize that. And so for us, we try to meet people where they're at with those needs. And we think that having a metaverse kind of gamified way to do multiplayer, it's a good way to bring your PFP into life in a 3D avatar where you're like, at least I could talk to somebody else that is their PFP, and I know that they're them and they have their username. And then maybe that brings you a step closer to wanting to reveal more of your privacy, So I think it's about meeting users where they're at, and it's very complicated, but giving the option is very important to us.
Okay. I'm just curious, how many here in the audience are founders? Can I see hands? 1, 2, 3. Wow. How many here own NFTs? And there you go. That's a wrap, folks.
Let's go.
Thank you, everybody.